Welcome back to I Am That Guy. I'm John Wesley Chatham, and this is my good buddy, co-host, Timothy Franck. Say hello, Timothy Franck.
Hello, Timothy Franck.
We're excited about today. We're going to do episode 5 in season 5. It's called Down and Out in Beverly Hills. And we're going to have a special guest going to pop on at some point. And be patient with us, guys. I literally just texted him 5 minutes before we started doing this. Look who the guest is. Oh my God.
Sorry about that. I was lying on my couch. You're like, what are you doing right now? I'm like, I don't know. And then you start texting, you're late. I'm like, you literally just texted me.
I did it on purpose.
What is that?
I was like, he probably had a Jolly Rancher or something before it's happening. Sorry about, I think I've been blessed by the good Lord. There's the light shining on me over here.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
you look beautiful.
There.
Hey, do we want to do, Joseph, do we just want to have that introduction and just start rolling with it, or what?
I said roll with it. It's good.
All right, yeah, we'll do it live.
We're doing it live. Am I allowed to swear, or do I have to be PG? What's the deal
we
here?
fucking cuss all the time.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Nobody's wearing pants.
Nope.
And
this is a pants-free zone.
And whenever we feel like it's getting boring, we go and strategically go get a glass of water just to show that, just to show why we're famous.
That's good. That's good. I tried to load it on my computer. It's still loading. My phone's about to die, but I got a charger on standby, so we should be good.
You have multiple jobs. You're a comedian. You're a fireman. You got a lot of other stuff going on. How did you get started in acting?
All right, I did musical theater and plays and stuff when I was a kid, and then when I was about 17, I told my guidance counselor I want to be a firefighter and an actor. They're like, no, both those careers you'll never get. The competition's too much. You want to go take tool and die making, mechanical engineering. I took that, I graduated it, hated it, went to fire school, started applying for fire departments, trying to if I could get on a fire department, then I could be an actor on the side. Couldn't get on a fire department, so I was working as a garbage man for about 2 years. When I was 27 years old, I read an article about all these musicians that died at 27. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison. And it hit me. I was like, holy shit, I'm 27 years old, and all these rock stars died at 27. And I haven't even tried my dream. And these guys had their dream and fucked it up because of booze and drugs. So I literally left my garbage truck that morning, bawling my eyes out, walked into the office and said, I need a leave of absence. They're like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to go be an actor. And they're like, okay, yeah, good luck with that. And I did. I went down to every agency in Toronto, just kept giving my resume out, kind of like that Stallone technique that he talks about.
Yeah.
Gave it out to about 50 people. Though the one agent that brought me on happened to live beside me in Sault Ste. Marie, which is 600 kilometers away from Toronto. I didn't know him. He's like, dude, this is just fate. I got to take you on. So he took me on. My first audition, I booked a national commercial. And then within a year, I was on a few TV shows, shot a bunch of commercials, and I was making a living. While I was working as an actor for 5 years, I kept applying to fire departments. And then I finally got on fire department. And it was honestly like I got that letter from Notre Dame, like Rudy, where it was like, oh my God, thank God, I fucking got it.
Thanks, man. That's awesome.
Can we just talk about how shitty your guidance counselor was when you're like, I want to be a fireman? And he's like, nope, too bad. You're fucking, that's not happening.
Literally the worst. Just a dream crushing piece of shit.
And you're just a fucking kid. It's not like, it is, Jesus Christ.
I knew what
it's not like you were saying, I want to play for the NFL or something like that. You're like, I want to be a fireman. He's like, no, go fuck yourself, kid. Get a real job.
I was the only kid in my class who knew what he wanted at 17. I'm like, I want to be a fireman and then be an actor. That's it, And he's like, no, can't do it. I was like, oh, I was crushed.
Oh my God. So we're doing the prison escape episode today. We're going to be talking about that. Do you remember that?
Which one?
It's a show called The Expanse, and you had a role in it. Where it's a prison movie where everybody ran the train on you. Yeah.
Yes. You kicked me in the nuts and threw me down an elevator shaft.
Yeah. It's such a good time.
I remember that. Yeah.
Should we have the Rocky IV soundtrack going as we're doing this podcast?
Probably the entire time, yeah.
Why it's not episode, I don't know.
So me and Boomer really bonded and connected over the Rocky IV soundtrack, and we text each other every now and then.
Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky III, baby. Look what I got, Boomer.
Oh, Miami Vice, nice. Yeah. You do the same thing I do. You buy clothes that you liked when you were a kid that you couldn't afford.
Right. Now we can afford it. Yeah,
that's my thing. Do you know these? Do you remember? Do you know what movie these are from?
Oh, Slap Shots.
No, Youngblood, Rob Lowe, Patrick Swayze.
Youngblood, yeah.
Don't forget,
and over
Keanu Reeves as well.
Was Keanu Reeves' first film.
That's Rob Lowe met Patrick Swayze for the first time in that movie, and then they did the Coppola movie after that, The Outsiders.
No. The Outsiders was first.
The Outsiders was before this?
Yeah. This is like 85, 86.
I'm going to have to do a fact check on that.
Yeah, I was listening to Rob Lowe on his podcast, and he was talking how Patrick Swayze wanted to have a song for Youngblood, and the producers and Rob Lowe were like, "What? This is ridiculous. We can't have a song."
He used that song in Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
And then when I heard that, it's that song. You out of my league.
I know what it is.
Just a fool.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
She's Like the Wind.
She's Like the Wind. Okay, so he wrote this song, She's Like the Wind, because he wanted to put it in that hockey movie. And they turned the song down, and then he put it in Dirty Dancing. But my question is where does She's Like the Wind come into Youngbloods?
Absolutely. Why do you think the producers are like
what?
Why will we put that in there?
Maybe he modified it a bit for Dirty Dancing. But
the fact that he ended up pulling it off and he got a hit song out of it, congrats to him.
And I'm not going to lie and say I don't like that song. I'm not going to turn the radio when that song comes on. So you're saying?
It's probably one of my top 25 played on my iPod.
I'm surprised he didn't follow that up.
Obviously,
he's got some pipes.
He's talented. Yeah. He can dance. He's a threat.
Yeah. I miss him.
Yeah. Those Val Kilmer stories you were telling me were awesome, though.
Yeah. How you been?
Good. Yeah. Working at the fire hall, auditioning, doing the old stuff, plugging away.
Yeah.
Doing comedy.
We're talking about this episode 5. And, one of the things that I really love about this episode is when you walk into prison, we actually just did a full podcast on Escape from New York. And there are some elements of this that remind me of Escape from New York. When you're wandering in to this prison where there's all these, it's like the crazies, the guys that come out of the sewer when he taps on the thing and all the crazy people come out of the sewer. And they're all like, people like you that got all these implants, and it's like the crazy ward. And obviously something happens, but the scenario of the escape is a really interesting thing and something I haven't seen before. How did you guys come up with that, Ty? Was it in the books?
Yeah, it actually is pretty much straight from the books. And Konecheck looks different than Boomer, but the way the character plays out in the show is almost exactly the way it plays out in the books.
Ty likes to say that he put things in the books and he wrote it in the scripts, but the reality is me and Boomer made it up in the spot. Yeah. We were like, wouldn't it be cool if there was an elevator that we had to, if we would have...
They just built it. The set directors were so fast.
Yeah, writers are always trying to take credit for actors' work. It just drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as a writer, my job is to follow you guys around and write down the dialogue you came up with. Yeah. I'm basically just a secretary for a bunch of actors. Yeah.
I heard that's how Robert Downey Jr. works. I heard that he has writers in his rehearsals and they write down what he improvs.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. So how did you hear about The Expanse? I know you were a big fan of mine and had posters and everything, but how did you hear about The Expanse overall?
Me?
Yeah.
I had an audition for The Expanse.
That's how you heard about it?
No, it was on, I saw it on Amazon Prime, and a bunch of buddies who were like talking about, who like love Star Wars and stuff. Yeah. They're like, you got to watch this sci-fi show, The Expanse. But I had an audition literally like that week.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't want to watch it because then I'd ruin it if I ended up booking it, and then I'd geek out. You ever do that?
Yeah.
Where if you're auditioning for a show, but you don't want to know the show too good, because then when you get there, you feel like you know these characters and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not ever actually really book them all the time, but it's in the head.
Yeah. So you didn't watch it at all before you came?
No.
So then why did you have me sign all that shit? Why did you?
I always do it just in case. You
had everybody do it. Yeah.
Everybody I meet.
Yeah.
Craft services. I'm like, can you sign this? And I had the headshots of them, which blew their mind.
What was your experience when you first walked on, like on the sets and stuff? Was everybody kind to you? Did you?
It was honestly, your show is so. They open you up with, like, they bring you in with open arms. Everybody's so nice and down to earth, and everybody who I met, every actor on there, we laughed our heads off for, what do we shoot, like 7 days, and we laughed every day.
So much fun. Yeah.
But everybody in the crew, like Clarissa, why can't I think of her name right now? Brunette.
Oh, Natalie Brown.
Yeah. Natalie. Yes, we all just got along. Like, we laughed like we knew each other for years.
Yeah.
And then you kicked me in the nuts and shot me down an elevator shaft, and I never came back.
You know what? I literally thought you were about to quote Weird Science just now when he's like, he kicked me in the nuts, but I was like, we can't quote that line on here.
Oh yeah.
And I threw you down the elevator shaft. Yeah, that was a great time. We laughed, and Natalie, have you known Natalie before? Natalie Brown?
Nope. I worked on her show, but we were in different scenes. They shoot it with blocks and stuff.
Yeah.
So never actually got to work with her.
So I came to the Toronto Film Festival in like 2008 for a movie called In the Valley of Ella, and Natalie was there. And when I first showed up, and she was there, and she ended up coming to the premiere, and we had the same, like, the amount of fun we had on set. I met her, we hit it off, we had a blast, we all hung out. She was so funny, such a good time. And then I didn't see her again, not once, until she came on set to do the singing. We looked at each other and we were like, "Oh my God, we remember you from the premiere." And then it was just like picked up. Really? We picked up right where we left off and had such a good time.
So networking actually works?
No, I don't know if it was.
No, it doesn't work at all.
That was just. I mean, it works for friendships. Yeah. Like if you want to make friendships.
Yeah, but who needs
nobody's
friends?
Going to give you a job. Yeah.
Fuck. I got like 3. I don't need any more.
Yeah, exactly. I do like that everybody went with the black hat today. That was a strong move.
But I noticed you guys got nice small heads. Check this out. I'm on like the last one. My dad had 3. A cardboard extender that actually taped his hat together. He had such a big head.
I'm 3.
Oh, you got 3? That's all right. Yeah, I'm on. Oh yeah, I'm on 3.
Yeah.
This hat's
this is a fitted cap because I'm not a fucking savage. All right.
What's your size in the fitted? Mine's a 7 and 7/8.
Yeah, I have no idea.
They top out at an 8.
No, I've always had a big head. Literally, not metaphorically. What's that?
That's the only reason I started working out, was to keep my body proportion to my head.
But the thing that was bullshit is, like, when I was little and I'd have a big head, everybody said, "Yeah, that just means you have more brains." No, they all lied to me. It's never true.
Well, I'd be all right. They were complimenting you. They just called me a big-headed piece of shit. Throw rocks at me.
And then when you got everything proportionate, they just called you a piece of shit and threw rocks at you.
Yeah. Now you're just a piece of shit and throw rocks at me.
So you improved a little bit.
Having spent a little time on set around Boomer, I'm going to guess nobody throws rocks at him anymore. Just going to go out on a limb, guess that nobody's throwing rocks at him now. Unless they can run really fast.
Hey, Ty, did I tell you this? I don't think I ever told you this, but I think it was like the next season. I'm walking during all the Canadian hysteria.
I remember,
and everything is shut down, completely shut down. Everybody's wearing masks, even out on the street. Right, you're walking. So I'm walking, and I see Boomer coming the other direction, and I have my mask on. What's that?
With my buddy.
With his
We're
buddy,
walking.
and
that's all we were able to do during lockdown. We allowed to work out. All you could do was walk.
And obviously, he had probably had a Jolly Rancher or something right before, or or he was so stoned, or yeah, and right before it, I could see, and I saw it, and I had a mask, and I saw him, and
he's a dick. He's a dick. I still have a panic attack about that.
I cry every time I think about this, and I go, I went up to him and I go, "Do you want to fucking go right now?" And he goes, "No."
Like it's just some guy on the street.
I go, "Yeah, you fucking do. You want to go right fucking."
I'm like, no, I don't want to go.
He goes, "No, dude, I don't even know you, man. I don't gotta." He was like, totally just smoked some, totally just out of it. He goes, "Dude, I don't even know you, man. What the fuck?" So I pulled the mask down, and it's still for a second. And then he was like, "Oh," and his one buddy was like. His one buddy goes, "Oh my God, I was like a second from taking off. I didn't want to deal with this shit right now." And I was like,
so you know what the funniest version of that is, though? The funniest version is you walk up, you go, "You want to go right now?" And he says yes, and he just punches you in the face as hard as he can.
I was thinking, I'm like, what if I would just fucking like pulled out a baton and started beating you or something?
Exactly.
and I pulled my mask down, and I'm like, "It's me, it's me." And he's fucking, "Fuck you, man." It's like Ben Stiller and and when he's like, cut, and they're trying to drown him.
He's just on top of you, beating your ass. You're screaming and trying to get your mask off.
That was the reason I joined jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, he wasn't doing jiu-jitsu at that time.
Dude, I still ain't. I'm like a white belt.
Right.
But just the fact, but when we were walking away, my buddy's like, "You really pussied out on that."
Wow.
And I totally did. I was so high. And like, you know when you think like, "Oh, if someone ever came up to me on the street, I'd just throw it and take out his knee." I just turned into the biggest pussy. I was to fight. "No, I don't want to fight. Why are you coming after me? Leave me alone."
Did you really start jiu-jitsu after that?
Yeah.
Because of that moment? No, you fucking...
Because I always wanted to, but that was like, all right, if another fucking guy comes up to the street, I'm just going to fucking do
Because I
something.
remember talking to you about jiu-jitsu on set, you know, and we were talking about it and everything during that time.
They all know, like Nacho and all those guys.
Yeah, you train with those guys?
I try to.
Yeah.
I just get choked. I tap a lot.
That's the way I love those guys. Toronto has a great jiu-jitsu scene up there, and you train with Nathan and all those guys. Natty Nate, that's what they call him. Yeah,
yep.
Those guys are.
Yeah, I had to take a few months off because of tendonitis. I got tendonitis from gripping.
Yeah, but Nate is he's probably one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in Toronto.
Absolutely.
He's phenomenal.
They're weapons.
Yeah.
Anybody with a cauliflowered ear now, I put that in my head. But never mess with a guy with a cauliflowered ear. Before it was necktie.
Yeah, cauliflower ears on dudes are like bright colors on snakes. It's a warning. Don't touch this thing. This thing will fucking murder you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
just get away from them.
Everybody's first year jiu-jitsu, when they go in there, they're always like, "I can't believe I ever talk shit to anybody, because if somebody has this much power over me, like I would be fucking dead."
There's so many little ninja assassins out in this world that I had no idea.
You have no idea. Yeah, you have no idea.
So humble.
Oh, that's cool, man. I didn't.
Should probably talk about the show.
Okay. All right. But that's cool that you went there. But I thought, didn't you have something with your back or your neck or something? There was an issue.
I don't think so. Your back.
Yeah, from it's or whatever.
I remember your back fucked when I saw you at Good Life.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Your trainer told you to go home, and then he goes and buys a Good Life membership and starts working there. That's how much of a meathead he is.
Well, it was because when I go to Toronto, I mean, it's like jiu-jitsu camp. Because I don't have my family there, I don't have anything like that, and I love Toronto BJJ, and I love going up there and training with those guys.
As I recall, our contract with you said you weren't supposed to be doing combat sports.
Yeah. And it wasn't my back, it was my knee. Boomer.
Was it your knee?
Yeah, it was my knee. It was my knee. Maybe it was hemorrhoids you were telling me about. I can't remember. There was something bothering you where I was like, you need to be careful with that, because like if you get, one wrong choke, it'll
I probably shouldn't say this, but I once got 8 genital warts burnt off all at once.
Really?
Yeah. And it takes 3 blasts of liquid nitrogen for each one. So that was 24. And the doctor looked at me. He looked up and he's like, I've never given this many all at once.
So
we could cut that.
No, that's
we can cut that out.
That's the trailer right there. That's the trailer.
That's staying. Hold on.
Boomer, it'll be bleep, 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 bleep.
No. That's staying in.
Where did the warts come from? Like who?
I was a bartender.
Oh.
I was a bartender in my 20s. What do you want from me?
Oh my God. All right, so we're going up the elevator shaft. Ty, walk us through this scenario.
Oh, the idea is that, this prison for like superpowered inmates is 10 stories underground. And when the asteroid hits and causes earthquakes, the upper 9 stories, the upper 9 floors of the prison collapse. And you guys are trapped underground. And the only way out is one elevator shaft that's been designed not to let people out. So it's got all sorts of safety measures to keep people from climbing up it. Obviously, it's a prison, so they don't want people climbing up and getting away. And you have to find your way out. That's the idea. And where Boomer comes in is they need to like tear these panels off the wall so that they can get access to a ladder that's otherwise hidden. And the only way to do it is with like your bare hands, with like brute strength. And even just getting the elevator doors open requires brute strength. And with your string beanie arms, you can't do it, Wes. So you have to go and you have to go and get a real man out of his lockup. So he can pull the doors open for you.
Underneath all those general warts, he's got some
guns under the warts,
baby.
Power. They gave me power. They were my mods.
They were the mods, the general warts. It's like, you know how superpowers fall into most superpower stories, they get struck by lightning or they fall into nuclear waste. He got overabundance of general warts and it started giving him superpowers.
From waitress.
From waitressing.
From promiscuous.
What I loved when you first came on set, I loved you right away. We hit it off. But when your read on Konecheck just made me laugh, and it inserted humor, and it really worked to give a little levity to the scene. It was so dark, being trapped on a prison, and you came, and it was just fucking like I think our first scene together was when we couldn't get the elevator open, and you came in and you looked at us like you're like, you pussies, and you came in and you did the thing. And so there was a bit of humor and levity that I thought really worked for the character and really made the scenes more interesting and more dynamic. But then at the end, when you turned, there was a maniacal evilness, that and you were going to kill us fucking all. And we modeled that scene, you and I's fight scene. I know that Ty and I talked about this, but it's kind of like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he's fighting the big German underneath the plane,
yeah,
and he gets hit for the first and hits the ground like, holy shit, like I've never been hit like that before. And so it's like Amos hit you like 3 times and it didn't phase you. And I thought that was such a great thing to show that Amos was human and that he's been in a lot of stuff. He's a talented amateur. He's been in a lot of fights and everything, and he's vicious and he's brutal. But, you see him having to be resourceful because he meets somebody that he can't phase, Yeah.
And I want to talk real quick about so part of what makes Konecheck so powerful in the show is that he's got all these strength augmenting modifications, like these cybernetic things. Of course, in real life, those were applications they were put on, and I was really curious because I was never there when they were putting them on. How long did it take them to get you fully like Konechecked? 2 hours.
I have a time lapse video of it actually.
Yeah, please do. Joseph will put it. He'll link it.
Set the camera up, and it just went, and they just kept going, and I had to shave and everything. It was great. When you were talking about how you were punching me. And I wasn't reacting. That's just me being a bad actor and shitty at stunts. But it came out well for you.
Yeah. No. That was what. I
don't know how to fucking do that.
I heard them tell you. Like these punches aren't going to phase you. And I.
I'm just fucking with you.
Okay. Because I thought that. was really fun. That was a really fun scene to do. And did we talk about the German with Harrison Ford?
I do remember when you hoofed me in the nuts and you did it like 3 times, and every time you did it, I'd hear you giggling behind me. Fucking snickering. Because I'm standing there and the camera's on me and I know the nut kick is coming. So I know it and I don't want to pre-flinch, but then I feel the kick and I go, but then I hear, like you're just snickering. You're loving every second of it behind you. Sick.
Dude, we had hanging around set. By the way, Boomer introduced me to Kratom. It's a pretty. Are you still? I still crushing?
take it. I'll take it before the gym and stuff.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like a strong cup of coffee, and it gets you focused. It's almost like the Limitless drug, you know? For an audition, if I have to learn 8 pages of sides, it usually would take me like 2 days. This, give me 2 hours on a stationary bike.
Really?
They're in there. Oh yeah, it feels like I'm cheating.
Have you ever done Kratom before?
No,
Ty?
I don't even know what it is.
Explain.
It's a plant from Asia, and it smells like matcha tea.
Yes, it's like it smells like tea, exactly, and it tastes like tea.
They give it to people with PTSD and anxiety and depression, and it helps them just relieve symptoms and stuff.
Didn't you do some long walk? Like, didn't you do from you and your buddies did like this?
Oh yeah, we walked. We did Hamilton. Walked from Hamilton to Toronto just for the hell of it.
And how long did it take you to do that?
17 hours.
And whose idea was that?
It was all of ours. It was me, my buddy, and another friend. And we're like, let's just do it. Let's just see how long it'll take. And we wore our Fitbits, and it was 94,000 steps, 17 hours. And it was something like 76 kilometers. But I found out if I would have just walked around the block 2 more times, I would have got the biggest award Fitbit gives. And it's called the Olympic Sandal. And it's 100,000 steps. And there's no fucking way I'll ever get near it again because I ain't doing that walk. I had blisters the chafe inside my legs it was almost bleeding. The blisters on my feet.
Was it brutal?
Brutal. But then you hear stories of David Goggins running 250 miles, and I'm like, how the fuck does that guy do that?
Did you do it did you do it all on the highway, like on the side of the highway?
No, we just did like right along the lake from basically, where Hamilton is.
Yeah.
And you just walk all the way around Lake Ontario, like whether it's side streets or bike trail.
Cool. So back to the episode. Naomi tries to assassinate Marco with a knife. You want to talk about that scene a little bit, Ty?
Well, I mean, we're trying to put Naomi in an impossible situation where she feels like all of her options are gone, because we're building up to a moment in episode 8 where she takes what seems like an unthinkable way out of this, like an almost impossible escape. And so in order to justify that, to make it not seem like she's just crazy, you got to take everything else away. And the first thing everybody thinks when you're watching a TV show and there's like a crazy dude, the first thing you think is, why don't you just stab him? Just get a knife and kill him. He's crazy. So she had to try it. She steals a knife from the kitchen and she goes and she's like, they're going to shoot me. They'll kill me after I get him, but at least I'll get him, right? At least I can do that. So we had to have her try that and have that option taken away too. But the important thing, though, and this is really important, is the scene right after that where Philip is escorting her out of the bridge back to her cell, and they're going down the elevator. He says something to her when he says, "I saved your life when I kidnapped you," triggers something for her where she realizes she's gotten all these clues that make her realize that something has been done to the Rocinante, and she needs to warn the rest of her crew. So failing at stabbing Marco still gives her an important piece of information that drives the plot forward.
Quick side note. What other situations in movies, like you just said, when you're like, why don't you just kill him? Why are you doing this option or whatever? For me, one of my Sleeping with the Enemy with Julia Roberts, with her husband, and he's abusive. so she's living with this guy and he's abusive and he wants the towel straight and all that shit. So she fakes her death in the water, leaves everything she's ever known behind, starts a new life and a new identity to get away from this guy. Instead of all that work, like she could take this guy out.
Yeah.
Or or just hire some guys at the bar to fuck this guy up or something. Or get a bat.
Yeah, in that case, though, I mean, I don't want to get too far into the psychology weeds, but if you study the psychology of people who have been routinely abused, they do feel powerless. They do feel like there's no way that they can stand up to the abuser. That sort of gets beat out of you very early. So in that case, I understand why she doesn't feel like that's an option. I get it. I understand the psychology of that. What I'm talking about is like, where like there's like 10 people hiding out in the basement and there's zombies like trying to break in, and there's the one idiot who's like, I'm gonna go open the door because I think we should all just run away, and I think the zombies will let us live, and he's like going up, he's fucking with the door, and I'm like, dude, just shoot him, just shoot that guy is about to get everybody killed. Like, I never understand why they don't shoot that guy.
So you think that she would have psychological issues of killing a guy that's beating the fuck out of her, but your buddy, who you're fucking dear friends with, is about to do something stupid, and you're like, I knew I grew up with this guy, but kill that motherfucker.
Look, if there's 10 of us down in the basement and that idiot's about to get 9 of us killed, yeah, he got to go.
Yeah.
He's got to. Yeah. See, Boomer gets it.
Who's your?
It sucks, but
I get it too. Like, here's the thing. Like, in those zombies movies, those moments when like your best friend gets bit and there's like a hesitation, and what are we gonna do? And we gotta do this. You're done.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
But you got bit.
You gotta go. Yep.
Wouldn't it be fucked up if they got like it just bit the shirt? It didn't really kill them. It didn't break the skin, and you're like, boom, and you shoot him right away, and then you find out, and you're like, oh, it didn't really break the skin.
Yeah, you just killed by mistake. That's the third friend this week.
Will you at least check and see if it breaks the skin? Stop killing your friends.
I killed all my friends. They bit.
And by the way, there's no zombie apocalypse. That's not real.
Used for gore.
Just in case, man.
Eat it.
Yeah. So Naomi warns Captain Holden not to, and I was trying to remember this earlier before we started the thing, but isn't Holden about to capture a ship or something, and they're about to fire it up? He's getting ready to chase
a ship, yep, that stole the protomolecule.
So Naomi warns him, and then Holden realizes that she's been kidnapped. What's our top 5 of the day, Joseph?
Oh, well, let's talk about Bobby and Alex real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, just because the next episode we're gonna have
the gun a little bit.
Well, next episode we're gonna have some really exciting Bobby and Alex stuff, so we got to do the setup for that. So the Razorback, with the two of them in it, has been trailing what they think is a gun running ship, a ship that's stealing weapons that they're going to sell to the OPA. They follow that ship to the rendezvous and see a bunch of ships gathering, and they realize that the thing that's being sold is not weapons, it's the ships themselves. So the OPA is buying actual Martian gunships. They get discovered, and they have to run because the ship they're on has no guns. So they're fleeing. One of the ships chases them, fires a missile at them, and in order to avoid being destroyed, they're forced to dump the fusion reaction out of their core and disable their ship. So where we leave them, they are on the drift, no power to their ship, and an OPA gunship coming after them. So we get exciting Alex and Bobby stuff next episode. So yeah, we do want to mention that.
Who
stuff.
are all these other characters you're talking about?
I know,
only know
right?
the 5 fucking scene, man. I'm joking.
So we do this thing, Boomer. We do this thing at the end. It's quite famous. People around the world know this game. Or when I say around the world, I mean
the 8 people who listen to this podcast know about this game.
The eight people that listen to this podcast. But anyway, so we do this thing where at the end we will take an idea or a situation or a scenario that has inspired us from this episode, and then we try to find the top 5 movies that represent that the best. and our list will go down in the annals of history. It is, it's what like movie history buffs or whatever, like it's what they reference. Like we are writing the book of everything that has to do with movies right now. That's how important these lists are. Yeah. So, Boomer, do you want to do us the honor and read the top 5 best prison escapes?
Chronicles of Riddick, Con Air, Cool Hand Luke, Escape from Alcatraz, Escape from New York, Face Off, Life, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Great movie. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Shawshank Redemption, Star Trek 6. I know that from the Rockies. See, Roman numerals. The Undiscovered Country, Tango and Cash, The Count of Monte Cristo. Haven't seen that. Have to look that up. The Fugitive, The Great Escape, The Running Man. Look at you, Mr. Freeze. Toy Story 3.
Now,
man, this is a tough one.
Right out of the gate, I'm going to say there's one glaring omission here. Glaring omission. And I'm actually shocked that the patrons failed so hard on this. Where is Escape Plan 2? The greatest prison movie ever made.
That's where you wanted.
They wanted it in there, but I already used that joke in a previous episode. So I told them, I said, no, we can't burn
you know
Wes
what?
twice.
You are not the arbiter of when we get to make fun of Wes, Joseph. Stay in your lane, sir. Stay in your lane.
But listen, if you, I feel like Joseph's getting drunk with
He is.
power.
A little
thank
drunk
you for
with power.
defending me, Joseph. I thank you for defending me. I really appreciate that. But he's like, fuck you guys. I'm taking the list down. Joseph, no, I appreciate you taking it.
Take my going home.
No, listen, I stand by Escape Plan 2. All right, and I think it should be on there. Maybe not the top 5, but close.
There you go.
Okay. There you
Thank
go.
you. And the other one that's
Joseph.
it's not like an amazing movie, but Fortress, the Christopher Lambert escaping from a prison in space movie, man.
What about Lockup?
Lockup? Yeah, where's Lockup?
With Stallone?
Yeah, Lockup.
Great one.
That's a great movie.
You killed for space. You killed for space.
That's a Lockup was a bonding moment that I had with Stallone.
And was it?
And because I was like, it's one of the movies that he did that he really likes that didn't really get as much attention as it should. And I was like, my God, I love that movie. The football scene, the prison football scene in Lockup's like one of the greatest scenes ever done.
The song in it, I listen to still by Survivor. It's on one of my cheesy fucking workout song playlists.
Yeah.
And
Papillon, yep.
I agree with you. No, Hearts War, no. I agree with you, Joseph. I agree with you, Ty, about Fortress, but Fortress would never make the top 5.
No, it would never make the top 5. Stir Crazy, but they don't escape in Stir Crazy. Do they? Do they escape? I think they just get old in prison.
It's been so long since I've seen it. I
think it's Stir Crazy. They just get old in prison.
Life is Eddie Murphy. Is that one?
Are you thinking Life?
I am thinking Life. I am thinking Life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I am thinking Life. I'm not thinking Stir Crazy. Stir Crazy, they do escape. Yep.
Oh, Stir Crazy. Yeah. Is that the one where they put him in the hole and he's like, can I just get 3 more days? Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good.
For me, right out of the gate, Shawshank Redemption is the greatest prison movie ever made. So
100%.
Yeah.
That's got to go number 1. There's no way it can't.
By the way, we're massive Stephen King fans on this show. Yeah. So Shawshank has everything going for it. That's number 1 on the list.
Yeah.
Now I got to throw The One That Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's great.
But it's not really a movie about the escape. It's really, there's only one, the big guy, he escapes at the end.
Yeah.
But the movie, I guess it is because Jack Nicholson escapes a lot. Wait, what about Cool Hand Luke?
Cool Hand Luke should definitely be in the top 5. Cool Hand Luke is an amazing movie.
I got to watch that movie. I still haven't seen it. It's the egg scene, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the one where he eats, 60 eggs in 60 minutes?
Yeah.
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 Oh, Cool Hand Luke's one of the greatest movies. If Cuckoo's Nest qualifies, that's got to be on there.
I mean, it's certainly, it ends with an escape. It's not really a prison per se, but it is sort of like a psychiatric prison. But Chief escapes at the end. I'm willing to allow it just to get one of the greatest movies ever made on the list.
Okay.
Does Three Amigos count as a prison movie?
Not really. Which part are you thinking of for prison in Three Amigos?
Steve Martin, he gets into prison and he's stuck.
Oh, you're talking about when he gets locked in that jail cell with the chains?
Gotta make it.
That's a very funny scene, but I don't know if it would be.
I wouldn't consider it a prison
escape.
Well, if you look at the topic, it's best prison escape. So it's prison escape movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now, I don't think The Fugitive belongs here because there is an escape, but it's not an escape from prison. It's the van crash and then he runs away. I don't know if that counts to me as a true prison escape.
Which one are you talking about?
The Fugitive.
Yeah, I would agree. He's more on the run.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
he's just on the run. The van crashes, he runs away. That's not really an escape. Now, The Great Escape, I definitely think is a great escape movie because the title is The Great Escape, but it is also like an amazing movie about them trying to get out of that prisoner of war camp and all that stuff. I love Running Man, but I don't know if it would belong in the top 5. I do love Running Man.
Yeah. I do. Running Man's great, but I think I would obviously Escape from New York would have to go with. That's an escape from prison.
Yeah, and it is. He's got it up there at the top. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I do love that movie, but it's not really a prison escape movie. They just run away.
Yeah, it's actually it's an on the run movie.
It's an on the run movie. Yeah, they just run away from prison. They don't like actually escape. I would say I just rewatched Escape from Alcatraz recently. That is a fantastic movie.
And that's Don Siegel firing on all cylinders. That's Clint Eastwood at his prime. Yeah, Escape from Alcatraz has got to be on there.
Wasn't that also Fred Ward's first movie?
Was it his first?
I think it might have been.
Oh, wow. And he just died recently.
Wow.
It's got to be in the top 5 just out of respect for Fred Ward.
Fred Ward. Joseph, what way to call that out.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Good,
I did not know that was his first movie. I had no idea. That's a really good factoid.
He has Keanu Reeves' first movie in Youngblood too. He's on the ball.
My vault of useless knowledge is vast.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. I mean, for me, if that was our top 5 list right there, I would consider that a valid top 5 list. There's not a movie in that 5 that is not an all-time classic. And look, I love Escape Plan 2. I love Papillon. I love Stir Crazy. I'm a big fan of Chronicles of Riddick. I'm like the only person in the world who's a fan of Chronicles of Riddick. But it's not top 5 material. I'm sorry, it's just not.
No, and like Tango and Cash is a fun escape scene. Yeah. But that's not. It's got Kurt Russell going for it.
Yeah.
I think we did right. I think we honored the movie gods.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good list.
Oh man, they're pretty close to ours. They got Shawshank, they got Great Escape, they got Escape from New York. But again, with Fugitive and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Those are on the road movies. Those are fleeing movies. They're not escape movies. The Fugitive, the only thing he does to escape is the van crashes and he gets out of it and runs away. That's not really an escape.
Wow, they did really close to us. Yeah, so I bet if we explain to them that Oh Brother, We're Out There isn't a prison escape movie.
Yeah.
Even though they do escape a prison in the very beginning.
Yeah, but they just run away. It's not like they pull up any cool plan for escaping. It's just like some shit happens and they just run.
It is a on the run road movie.
It's an on the run movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fugitive, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Both of them are on the run movies. Now, so the one that skirts the line between those two is Running Man, because Running Man is an escape from prison movie, but they escape from prison by being on the run. 'Cause that's how you escape from that prison, is by being on the run. So it dips its toes in both of those pools.
But it's also like a battle movie too, because you gotta survive at the end. It's a game. It's a game to escape.
Yeah, well, you got to spray water on Dynamo so that he electrocutes himself.
Dynamo, dude, Dynamo. Was that another? No. Where did Running Man come from?
Well, it's supposedly based on a Richard Bachman story called The Running Man.
Yes,
but the Richard Bachman story is so different from the Running Man movie. There's almost no similarity between the two of them.
Boomer, what's your top 5 of all time? 5 movies of all time.
Of any movie?
Yeah. And it's going in the canon right now.
Shawshank Redemptions is right up there.
Okay.
And then I could just go into my house. Rudy, right there. Rudy
Nice.
jersey.
Okay. Nice.
I only frame like fake mythological characters on my walls. I don't actually have Youngblood, Major League.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You got them all. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
And I need another. Oh, The Burbs. I love The Burbs.
The Burbs. Yeah,
With
that's
Tom
great.
Hanks.
It has my favorite Tom Hanks laugh of all time. When Tom Hanks he's freaking out and he lays on the gurney to go in the ambulance and nobody does anything, and then he just gets up and he takes the fucking thing and he throws it in the ambulance and he climbs and gets on it and just fucking lays there. That was hilarious.
It's not a movie, man. Nobody knows about it.
Yeah, The Burbs, man.
Rocky 4. There's
Yeah,
go-tos.
Rocky IV.
But if it's ever on, like, if a movie's on TV, you ain't going to turn it off.
Yeah.
Like Dumb and Dumber, Rocky 4, any of those movies I like,
Yeah. Well, The Shawshank Redemption is one of those movies for me. The first one you listen. It's like, that's one of those movies, if you're at somebody's house and you walk past the TV and Shawshank Redemption is on at literally any scene, you're just like, well, I'm staying here now. So I'm sitting here until this is over. Like, I cannot walk away from that movie.
Family.
Yeah. I cannot walk away from that movie.
It's a perfect movie.
Yep. It is a perfect movie. Now, I'm going to go ahead and guess, Boomer, based on our conversation here, that when you are doing your comedy, your act is a little blue.
Yeah. I'm a little vulgar. I'm very clean. I work corporate gigs.
Yeah.
Do you get nervous before you get on stage?
I still do. I didn't do it for a while, and then I just started getting back into it again. But, you take a little scoop of Kratom, have a little shot of vodka. I'm the fucking man all of a sudden. Even if I tank, it's still fun. I'm going out there. The way I look at it, I'm going out there to fail. Yeah. If I fail, whatever. But if I do well, right on.
Right.
Now, do you ever, if somebody heckles you, do you go down to their table and demand that they arm wrestle you? Because I think that would be a great anti-heckler move.
No, because I'm so bad at arm wrestling.
Have you been heckled before?
Yes, it's horrific. I hate it.
Oh, and what were they funny or was it a good heckler?
No, it's just usually a drunk, like, hey, now the show's about me. Let me talk. I'm the best. And then you're like, all right, what do you just try to fucking shut them up as fast as possible and move back in.
Are you good at handling them?
No, I'm fucking horrible at it. Like, other guys write and have materials ready, and like sometimes it's good, you know how if you're having a good day, you're quick, you come up with good reply, but some days you're not, and you're just like, all right, now I gotta fucking do something.
There's a comedian who's got a YouTube channel where he just puts video of him wrecking hecklers. That's like the whole channel.
Love it. It's good for him.
That's all he does. He doesn't put his whole routine up there. It's just every one of his videos just begins when he's being heckled and just him just destroying a guy for 5 minutes.
Perfect.
You should write some stuff and get prepared for it.
I know. That's one would think that's what you should do, but I'm a talker, not a doer. You guys know this.
Yeah.
No, okay. When you get heckled, it's the prison yard. That guy's called you out. You just go do to him what you would do in prison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Prison rules.
And then you would never get heckled again.
You would never get
ever.
heckled again.
It's just a
real prison.
Well, hold on. It depends on what bar you're at.
Is this the guy, Ty?
Yeah, Steve Hofstetter. That's the guy. Steve Hofstetter's the comedian.
His stuff is hilarious.
Yeah. And he's just got a whole channel of him destroying people who have been heckling him. It's very funny stuff if you just like watching people be embarrassed for like 10 minutes straight.
Well, Boomer, this was a good time, man. Always a good time hanging out with you. Thanks for coming on the show. And if we ever do like a Rocky IV or Youngblood on the podcast, we'll have you back on if you're around and available.
I'm in. Thanks for bringing me on, guys.
Hey, I love how I texted you 5 minutes before the show, and then I'm like, "You're fucking late."
I know. Like, that's the thing. Why the fuck aren't you here? I'm like, dude, I was literally lying on the couch comatose from eating all you can eat sushi and a sundae, and now you're bitching at me when I'm not on time.
It's not a Sunday.
No, I ate Sundays. I ate 2 Sundays and all you can eat sushi.
Okay.
That's why I'm sweating. My thermogenic rate's through the roof.
Thank you guys for hanging out. This was a good time. Thank you to Boomer. Thank you to my good pal Timothy Franck. Please like and subscribe, all those things. And Ty and I are going to work on some fun things for the Patreon members. We got some. I don't know if we've announced them yet, Joseph, but
the viewing party will be one of your favorite movies, Big Trouble in Little China.
Nice.
Big Trouble in Little China. All right. Say goodbye, Ty.
Goodbye, Ty.
See you guys.